All right, I'm ready to tear into the front seats now. This is the passenger seat. I'm continuing the trend of starting furthest away from the seat that you're going to see most often, driver's seat. So building up my practice as I go along. This is the most complicated one in some ways, less in others. I started poking at this the other day to take a peek of it. So it's got a zipper on it. I don't want to do that. I'm pretty sure I don't need to. But I want to understand what they did and see how I can duplicate or replicate it. So they had this thing was tucked up under inside here so you couldn't see it. So that wasn't hanging down there. But what I think I want to do rather than this is we've got this strip here that comes around the back and ties in, and then there's a was it basting wire? What's it called? I forget the name of the term for this. The wire that's in there is here, but rather than doing this little flippy flappy thing here, I think that might be okay. Actually, I'm not sure. But worst case scenario here, I'll put a piece of Velcro here and run this down to a piece of Velcro. This is probably not too bad, but I don't know why they put a zipper on there. It looks like you shouldn't really have too much trouble stretching this thing out over here. So I'm probably not going to do that. Anyway, so things to do. So I think I want to get this apart. I don't know that it is strictly necessary. That's got to come off. And I will probably start on the bottom. We shall see. As I asked a question on another piece of plastic on another part of the car, if anyone knows a good way to clean this and get all the old paint off of it, that would be good to know, because I don't really know how to strip paint off this. This is plastic. But obviously that needs to get cleaned up. Maybe they sell repops of these, I don't know. I mean, it looks okay other than it needs to be painted. And then if anybody knows, this one has this trim piece on this side, but there is no trim piece on this side. Don't know if there's supposed to be one or not. Anyway, so let me try and see about getting this thing apart, and then we'll go from there. So just looking at this piece here, there's a little pin that goes through there. I don't see how that's attached. It's just going into plastic. So maybe that pops out of there or something. I think there might be another one down here below, because this doesn't want to come off. That looks very similar to what's over there, so I think there may have been a piece of trim over this at one point. I'm going to start by just zipping this thing and taking this off, and then see, so I can see what's going on up under there. If this comes apart easily. Of course it doesn't. The wire goes through there. Well, that's no fun. All right. Let me get these hog rings off of there then. Interesting that sometimes these things just break. It's fine by me. Trash can. I figure after all this sewing I would have some idea what all these terms are, but I don't. Listing wire, I think that's what that is. Anyway, got that out of the way. looks pretty good in there. Not all rusted out. That's nice. Okay, we got another. So I'm not the only one that does this. They put in a hog ring. Didn't work well. I just left it in there. So one issue I've been having with my work is it hasn't been quite as precise as the stuff that was in here before. Hopefully that's not the case on this one, because this stuff really has to kind of go in the right place. Speaking of which, I should take some pictures of this before I take all this apart. Let me grab a picture of that. And these guys were here. Hard to take pictures for me sometimes. Don't have enough fingers. There we go. All right. Over here is another half-hearted hog ring. Okay. That takes care of that. Around the bottom now. I'll bring. Could maybe see how this could be a little tough without that zipper there. Getting these corners here, I'm going to bring it around. This corner right here, where it comes around, and is over the edge there. That might be a little tricky without a zipper. I think I could probably do it. Looks like that. Oh, this might have hog rings in there. If that does, then that answers that. That would be very impossible to do. Maybe. No, not impossible. You can do it. It's a little tricky. Half hog rings. Can't tell yet. No? So in general, when you're doing these things, I'll back this up so you can see better. You can take these things and just basically put it on the reverse of this, right? Just fold it down like that as you go. Unless there's a hog ring or something there that doesn't look like. It was glued down. Here. Okay. Wasn't so bad. So I don't see why you wouldn't be able to get it on if this was all in one piece. You guys can let me know if you agree. It would certainly not be easy, but I don't really want to put a zipper on it, so given a choice, that's what I would do. Let's turn it back around. I have been impressed with these, the work that was done on these seats. They've been sewed in pretty well. I am worried about this. I had a dickens of a time trying to do this on the back seat. This one, that's going to be fun. But all right, so that part's off. All right, one other issue I thought of. On the back seats, I put the red top stitch down here on the outside of this part, not on the top part here. So we're running this edge here because I didn't want the top stitch running into the red part here, because the red stitch running into the red thing I thought would look strange. So I put it on the outside, which is fine. Problem is, on the top, if I wanted to do the same, I'd have to run that top stitch here around this thing and then back down on the back. And this little inside radius thing that I did on the back seat really did not work well at all. And this is an even tighter one than I did on the back. So being able to get all this thing sewed together and then get a top stitch on it, I just don't think there's really any likelihood of that working. So what I'm debating is, instead of doing this approach here, run this up to the top here and then bring this across here instead. So put a top piece on here instead of rolling it over the back like this. Then if I do that, then there'll be a seam at the top where I could bring it down as far as I want, whatever, but probably just right up here would be fine. Then I could top stitch that thing around there, which would work. Or I could continue and do it on the inside of this, wherever that seam is, run it around, but then I don't have to go around this corner like that. Problem again is, if I put it on the top side here, then I have that issue at the bottom. And when I noticed on my flex, what they did is they put a little strip here. There's a strip of black. So then the top stitch can run all the way through the black, and then the centerpiece can be a different color. It's another option that I could do, but the back seat isn't done that way. Maybe not a big deal, because the top is that way here. So having an extra strip at the bottom doesn't have to be this big. It could be a half size or something. But it would be a lot easier to do the top stitch on the front than on the sides. Because as soon as you do the sides, then you have to go all the way around, which I don't really feel like doing. Yeah, anyway, so that's that. Let me know what you guys think. Not so sure about this phone. It's a little ratty. I will be putting more new foam on the vinyl. I wonder if I should do something with this. Anybody has any thoughts on this? Leave that for now. I want to take the rest of this apart. So yeah, I can't see. Let me get a screwdriver and see if I can pop that pin out of there. Yeah, so that's the little pin that was holding in the plastic part back there. So there's one of those down on the bottom. I'm not sure how to get it out. We'll figure it out. Nah, I take that back. There was just the one pin on the top here. I mean, this was just slipped over the bolt on the bottom, so that came off. So I need to see, I suspect, like I said, there should be one of these on the other side. So I'll take a look and see if I can find those online. All right, so let me see what I need to get the rest of this stuff apart. So I've never seen this kind of dealie before, but it looks like just twist it off. It's not threaded or anything. Just like that. I don't know what those things are called. Anybody know what that's called? One on each side. Get the other one. Okay, and these little side pieces just pop off. Like so. There we go. Well, that guy's out of the way. Okay. Now we've got to get these guys off. And those appear to be T50s. Nope, that is not a T50. Next size down. It was only hand tight anyway. T45. The other side. Slightly tighter. That. It's just stuck on there. Okay, there's that. Okay, I'll figure out the rest of this dog. So I've seen these in various videos, but never come across them, where you have this little plastic thing that goes around the edge here. So again, I was talking about earlier how I have to be a lot more precise sewing these next time, because all these things just fit where they go. We just got a few little hog rings on the back here, and that's it. And then I have to decide if I want to take all this hardware apart and clean up the bottoms of the seats and stuff. I probably should, depending on how much stuff I can get out of there. Might throw it in the Evapor Rust. We'll see. Let me see. This should come apart pretty easy here. There's only like 4 hog rings here. Doesn't seem like a lot. And those are just holding these 2 pieces together. Interesting. Not even attached to anything. Like a bug is crawling on me. I need to take that one off. And then this one. Yeah, interesting. A lot of these I just cut through when I hit them with the cutters here. Break. Certainly makes things easy. So those were attached to these little guys right here. Wonder why they didn't attach. I guess it's a little harder to hook into something like that. Okay. So, let me get you up here. So, I think these just lift up. Yeah, so let's see if you can see that. Yeah, there's a little hook right here that goes over. Then off that little side piece. And I don't know what happens from there on out. It doesn't just want to come straight up. Push it down and around. Put all this stuff on here. Yep. So you can see that you have to push it down to get it to come off the clip. And it releases. Theory. So I have to save all of this stuff and reuse it. Well, that's just a piece of plastic, so I could, that's nothing special. So I could find one and replace that if I needed to. And that appears to be it. More hog rings here. Let me see this. Yeah. Another set of hog rings here. Just when they get old and rusty, you can just cut them. Most of them. sure of that. Okay, is that it? That is it. This one was glued down as well. Yeah. That doesn't look as nice. It's not terrible, but that up there. All right, what do you guys think? It's not mold or anything, it's just glue, I think. What's y'all's opinion of that, if that's worth replacing or not? So these were, the previous seats were hog ringed in here. But this time around, as you can see, there were holes here. This time around, they just glued them down, which worked apparently. But I could put all the hog rings back. Don't bother getting that hog ring out of there. Could have stuck in somebody's butt. What? I don't know how easy it is to get all this stuff off here again. Oh, looks like it comes off pretty easy. To get the seat cleaned. All right, so we're gonna call it right there, I think, and I'll post this. See what everybody thinks about the state of this, whether I should replace that foam or not. I know this foam can be had and it's pretty expensive, so I don't want to replace it unless I need to. And it feels okay. It's still pretty firm. I mean, sitting in these seats was comfortable, so I don't think that's an issue. Maybe a little cockeyed there, I don't know. I think it's probably okay. But let me know what you think. We'll post this one and get ready for the next one.